This is part 4 of my free agent predictions. If you have not watched the other 3, basically about every other position, go watch those real quick and then jump back on this last big final one. What is up, everybody? It is Jason from Jason Sports Clips back with another video today, and today is, like I said, part 4 of my free agent predictions. Today we're going to be going to do the quarterbacks and the running backs, and this is by far the biggest, most stacked up running back position in free agency I've ever seen in my life. So this is going to be a big offseason with the running backs, and there's a couple of really big quarterbacks out there too, so it's actually going to be really juicy this week. And yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so before I get into it, if you watched my other videos, you already know the rules. You already know what website we're using and all of that cool little stuff. And basically, long story short, this is all for fun. And the teams or the players that you see on the screen cannot re-sign with their team. That's technically my rule. So I gotta, give my best other opinion, best other team they can go to. So, starting off with Kirk Cousins, definitely the top quarterback in this free agency class. He was completely balling out before he tore his Achilles against the Green Bay Packers. He had 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 2,300 passing yards. But, he had a really good grade last year. And before he tore his Achilles, like I said, balling complete out. And I think he is going to the Atlanta Falcons. And now, of course, is that really a crazy pick? No, because there's a lot of people thinking that he should go to the Falcons. But just like I mentioned in my other videos, the Falcons are basically one player away from being a playoff team, possibly winning the division, because the NFC South is not that good this year. And I think just Kirk Cousins is the perfect fit for Atlanta, and there's no other place he really should go to, really. Now, moving on to the next quarterback, Baker Mayfield. And now in my prediction, I really truthfully do think he will go back to Tampa Bay. But again, that's not the rules, We got to have him go to another team. And honestly, even though this team will most likely end up drafting a quarterback, I think the Patriots make the most sense. And I think that Baker is honestly going for that bag. He needs a lot of money. Well, he wants a lot of money. And he didn't do that bad last year. 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, and only 10 interceptions. He had an overall grade of 75, basically. And he won a division. He won a playoff game. He almost won another one against the Lions. But I thought he did really good last year, and he will get that bag. Probably $35 to $40 million. And the Bucks have about $25 million in their cap. So I don't think I think that he will resign, but if he wants to go for the bag, he should go to New England, because they have a whole bunch of money, and that's basically all New England got. So yeah, him to the Patriots. The next quarterback that basically everyone's talking about, Russell Wilson. He just got released from the Denver Broncos, and the Broncos ate a lot of dead money in this. And he's already getting paid about $40 million from the Broncos. So whoever signed him is going to literally sign him for the league minimum, which is like $1 million, $1.2 million, something like that. And there's a lot of rumors about him going to the Steelers, to the Giants. But I really do think he will go to the Steelers, because, Mitchell Trubisky, I'm sorry, he's not even on the team. He's on the Bills anymore. But Kenny Pickett, he's not the answer. Mason Rudolph is, he had a little bit of a good part of the end of the season last year, but he's still not that good. Russell Wilson just needs a whole new structure, a whole new coaching system. I think the Steelers are the perfect fit. They got a couple really good weapons on the offense, and the Steelers' defense is already good as it is. And they're literally one quarterback away, just like the Falcons are. He should go to the Steelers. That's just plain and simple, man. Go to the Steelers. And the last quarterback, I'm only going to do 4 quarterbacks, because I was going to do 5, but they're really not that relevant. And, I think Gardner Minshew is probably going to end up being picked up another team by the Colts, or besides the Colts, And I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers should sign him. This is if they don't sign Baker Mayfield. But if you look at the stats, he wasn't that bad. I don't know exactly when he took over the Colts, whenever Anthony Richardson ended up getting hurt. But he had not that bad of a year. His touchdowns were low. His interceptions weren't that high. He had a 62 grade. But then again, he's a backup quarterback. And I think that if the Buccaneers do not sign Baker Mayfield, he should go after him, because I'm not sure if the Bucs actually trust Kyle Trask or not yet. So Gardner Minshew, and it seems right, going back to Florida for him, to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, moving on to the running back position, this is definitely the juiciest part of the video. There's way too many good running backs to even name. Like my top five, there could be a couple other players that could fit into the top five. There's like really 10 really good running backs. But we're going to talk about Saquon Barkley first. When he is healthy, he is the freaking team basically for the Giants. He had almost 1,000 yards rushing last year, 6 touchdowns, a 70.2 grade, and he's only 27 years old. He still has got at least 3 to 4 more years in the tank. And I think the team that he should go to, and it's actually rumored to, is the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, the Chargers are in a financial little situation where they still got to get over the cap, or under the cap, I should say. And they will do, a couple more moves, but I think that he fits perfect in LA. They're basically a running back away from being a really good team. And now they had Austin Eckler, but he definitely struggled at the end of the year last year. Saquon Barkley should definitely go to the Los Angeles Chargers. The next player we're going to be talking about is Josh Jacobs, a really good running back for the Las Vegas Raiders. And he got franchise tagged last year. Obviously did not get franchise tagged this year. He had a really good year last year with 805 yards, 6 touchdowns, 65 grade. I think he was a little bit banged up last year, but he's still really good, relatively young, only 26 years old. And I think the perfect team for him is the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think they're going to be bringing back Tony Pollard. And besides Tony Pollard, who the hell is their other running back? Like, I can't even think about it. And just like the Chargers and Saquon Barkley, I do think that the Cowboys are in a little bit of a financial situation. But once they maybe restructure Dak Prescott, it'll free up a lot of money. And I think that they will end up signing Josh Jacobs. And now one of the bigger running backs, well, literally bigger running backs in the free agency class, Derrick Henry. One of the older ones too. He's about to be 30 years old. This dude is a tank. And last year was technically one of his down years with 1,100 rushing yards, 12 touchdowns with a 90.2. And that's considered his down year. This dude's going to be a baller for wherever he goes to. And I think the perfect fit, and it's also rumored to be going to this team, is the Baltimore Ravens. And now the Ravens are most likely going to be losing Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins, and they're kind of really thin at that running back position. And if they get a bruiser guy like Derrick Henry, along with Lamar Jackson and Zay Flowers, this Baltimore team already went to a championship last year. And I think they could go to the Super Bowl with a really good running back just like Derrick Henry. It makes all the perfect sense, to be honest. Our next running back we'll be talking about is Tony Pollard. He's one of the younger ones in the league, of course, with the Dallas Cowboys last year. Only 26 years old, about to be 27, and he had a really good year last year with just over 1,000 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns. And this is with the Cowboys offense that had a lot of weapons already as it was. Once he's healthy, he could be a complete baller, just like the rest of the running backs in this draft class or the free agent class. And I do think that the team he should go to is the New York Giants, and of course, are they going to pay a lot of money to a running back? We'll see, because they're not wanting to bring back Saquon Barkley, but I just have a weird feeling he's going to go to New York, and I think it's a little good fit for him too. So could be completely wrong this pick, but I think he should go to the Giants. And the last running back we'll be talking about is DeAndre Swift. Definitely an underrated running back in my opinion. I thought he did better than this. The stats on the screen with 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns. He had a 66.7 overall grade. And I'm actually surprised that the Eagles are letting him go as of right now of this recording. But I think the perfect team he should go to is the Minnesota Vikings. And now they just released Alexander Mattison because he was not performing up to expectations last year. But I think he would be a perfect fit over there. Of course, depending on what they do with the quarterback, depending on what they do with Justin Jefferson. But I think he would take a cheaper deal to go to Minnesota because they still have a really good O-line. And they're, the Vikings defense is going through a little bit of an overhaul. But, I just think it's a good fit because they basically don't even have a running back, the Minnesota Vikings. But that wraps up this video. Definitely leave your comment down below of what you think these players are going to end up going to because they could be going anywhere. And this is my prediction. So, yeah, like a video, comment down below, like I said, what you think, and subscribe if you're brand new. I'm out of here. Deuces.